All right, guys, we are going to be having ourselves a different cast. We're going to be having the Storm Division match between runboiz and FWC eSports. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get to cast the Team Shobo and Hakuna Shimada match due to forfeit, but their loss is everyone else's game, maybe, depending on if you wanted to see the runboiz versus FWC eSports. So at the very least, it's a gain for runboiz and FWC eSports because they get the best bars and casting to do it. Now, I think they're almost ready. Okay. So this should be a pretty solid matchup. Both teams are pretty close in standings, and we just saw FWC eSports last night. There were obviously some mistakes, but hopefully, they had the opportunity to look from yesterday, see what they needed to tighten up on, and be able to, implement it tonight. So we're going to kick things off on Doom of the Spider Queen, and well, let's jump into the draft. Jump into the draft. There we go. Hotkey's not working all the time for whatever reason. Might have to restart my phone. But let's pull up some stats on runboiz here as well. Now, I need to go to the right selection. This is much easier since I need to fix my stats of the storm, unfortunately. Now, the first ban of the evening. The first ban of the evening going to be the Johanna. It's not the most typical of first bans, but that means they've been doing some research as well. If we look at runboiz, we have 8 of their games in here. We're going to see a heavy prevalence on Jaina, Urel, Diablo, Maiev. Those are their top 4 picks in general. And we're going to see the Maiev and Whitemane banned. And so immediately, runboiz picking up that Diablo, thinking he's the king of the tanks. Now, they've also banned out Johanna, which, as I pointed out, is not your typical go-to. If we look at the amount of games actually played, Johanna is actually not up there. They've played only a single game of Johanna so far in terms of stats of the Storm. And they're going to go ahead and pick themselves up Phoenix and Blaze. Now, runboiz is clearly thinking... Clearly, runboiz believe that the tank meta is really shitty right now. And the reason I say that, not because that it's shitty because like tanks are terrible, but the tanks that are available are few and far between. They basically, you can almost argue Blizzard ruined the tanks by removing the armor from tanks. So now what you get are basically the generalists, such as Diablo, Johanna, Muradin, and Garrosh. Well, Garrosh has armor, so they never remove that since that's core to his kit. Diablo, well, they reworked him. He's has a very large HP pool, and Muradin has a very large HP pool as well. So effectively, they've ruined the previous way tanks were played, where you can choose a tank into someone else because you had the armor for that prevalent damage type, and so you fit in a little bit more. But with that out of the way, banning him out basically says you have to pick up Garrosh. But they banned out a Genji here. The Phoenix and Blaze are definitely really nice, but I'm surprised they didn't opt for Urel, instead giving up Urel to runboiz, who, like I pointed out, Urel has been in the hands of runboiz several times already. And that means, they're playing with someone they practice with. which to me is scarier. In fact, they have a 100% win rate on Urel. So I don't know how I feel about a team giving someone that they haven't lost a game with yet. And so we'll see that garage that I was talking about. And I feel like runboiz knew exactly what they were doing. They were like, well, they're going to pick garage. So what do we go with to stop the garage? And a Junkrat isn't too shabby. They have Rainer, they have Slows from Urel, Alexstrasza, even Diablo. So Rainer going to be dishing out a lot of damage. And then finally you have the Junkrat to knock them around and turn them into, ragdolls. The final pickup, Kel'Thas, I feel a little iffy about. They don't have that much dive. They do have Urel, who can pop on in and slow him down, but Kroven should be able to position himself far enough away. Now, if he goes something like Convection, goes like, the big DKT build, maybe it'll work out for them. Mana Addict, though, is super easy to get here and hella valuable, so I wouldn't be, surprised if Convection is a thought. I mean, obviously, Mana Addict is always safe for a variety of reasons. It also increases his actual mana pool so he doesn't run dry, which is a very important thing in general, especially on a map where you have to rotate all the time, clear lanes, and you don't have the luxury of just sitting around trying to regen up and clearing them ultra slowly. Now, Phoenix won't have as much value as the typical like Diablo Phoenix combo. No lightning breath, there is the slow from Garage, there is the slow from Deckard, there is the stun from Blaze and the oil dispersal, which is probably why they opted for that. Diablo being removed means the typical combo is down, and so they wanted Blaze to get the oil dispersal to make up for that. Although I think Urel could do that just as well overall. Not quite to the same level, but she isn't too shabby about it. Now, the Deckard is a better support in my opinion than the Alexstrasza, but if Alexstrasza goes something like Lifebinder, Diablo is not dying. Basically, I don't care who you are, you're not killing the Diablo while Lifebinder is on him. But we're going to be jumping into the game right now, so hopefully you're all excited for this match. And as you can see, Stormir was making toast and jumps back in the game, finally finishes. We're going to have Stormir on that Urel. We have a Corgi Booty on the Junkrat. We have a Taki on the Alexstrasza, Titan's King on the Rainer, and finally Shredded Wind on the Diablo. And that's going to be runboiz. On the other side, we got McNulty on the Garage, Flyest Raven on the Blaze, Axon on the Phoenix, we got Kroven on the Kel'Thas, and finally we got Redor on the Deckard Cain. And that is going to be FWC eSports. All right, let's get this down, make it nice and smooth, buttery smooth. Garage going to be taking a bunch of damage there. McNulty eating it with a nice root in place. The overpower McNulty very far forward, but Axon trying to peel, very nicely done, and the oil dispersal, and he'll make it out of there perfectly fine. At the same time, we'll have Kroven clearing this up fairly safely, and he might miss one gem. Okay, we got the rotation, and they'll get it. Nice throw from McNulty, but and that puts him in a bad position, letting Shredded Wind wall bank him. In the meantime, the lift, the gravity lapse, and Shredded Wind has just been torn apart. Much like the wet paper bag Diablo is in the beginning of the game. Well, strong swift wind will tear it apart. Bot lane, well, it's actually Flyest Raven holding down the fort in the meantime. Let's take a look at the talents that were chosen. Ooh, this is spicy. We got McNulty going unrivaled strength. This is not a very typical thing nowadays, I'd say. You'd more so see people picking the Groundbreaker Q talent so you can continuously get value, get shields, get more interruption, and get some additional damage simultaneously. We'll have the Arsenal Synergy, the Sapphire, the Neural Stin Pack, Mana Addict, already out of the 5 of 20. You got to put some English on it. Veteran Marksman coming on out. Not very typical. Shredded Wing going to peel for Titan's King. Get the overpower onto Krovan, but no one else is there able to respond to dish out damage onto Kel'Thas. So he'll be perfectly fine. In the meantime, we actually have Flyas Raven, who's rotated up into the mid lane, which is perfect. They take the fight to runboiz. They need someone to soak, and Flyas Raven does not miss an ounce of that soak. So perfectly executed, and they get a little bit of that XP lead, as we can see. In the meantime, Stormir tries to turn in, but Flyas Raven knows what's up. We'll go and prevent that from happening. We're going to get the energy roll. Anything else out of the ordinary? And nope, nothing else out of the ordinary in the meantime. Flyas Raven, however, is taking a lot of damage, and he will have to back on off and tap it up in the meantime. We will actually have Axon rotating down, going to potentially try and gank. No, he's going to go just for the siege camp. Now they have to play a lot more cautiously here on FWC eSports right now. And they will be playing as carefully as needed right now. McNulty going to be pushed on back, but Redor's there, going to be able to actually prevent him from continuing forward. Krovan coming on and getting the gravity lapse. Not going to really matter. McNulty going to miss the ground breaker, but it's not too shabby because they have the XP lead and they have the siege camp getting additional pressure. And Flyas Raven's been keeping up overall with Stormir. So with these siege giants, it's going to create a little bit of a problem for them in the meantime. So we got some Titan lag in the meantime. We just need to wait for Lag King to clear on up. Ooh, and he's going to be dropping on out. So we're going to pop on up my beautiful face or my beautiful beard, and apparently there's some sort of hotkey for when I go to cast or tab out that is triggering all of this simultaneously. But we're gonna see that they opted for Taste for Explosions, nothing out of the ordinary there. The fight or flight, so cooldown reduction, more healing, and additionally the armor for 30 seconds. So you get there's definitely two trains of thought. Apparently, the fight or flight is much more common in NA and EU. However, the behemoth armor is the more popular choice apparently in Korea, and their reasoning is more so that adrenaline rush requires you to pop it at an appropriate time to get the value out of it. The behemoth armor, well, you just have it all the time and are able to survive burst a little bit better. You're not going to be obviously surviving like a Li Ming orb to the face potentially, but the difference with the extra health that you do have does result in a little something something. Now, veteran marksman, we have 19 of the 9,001 cap that exists in there. So at this point, it's doing roughly 15% more damage for give them some pepper. We also had the soul shield coming on out, which makes a lot of sense. On the side of Diablo. Now we're going to probably see the usual flame build. There is, or fire stomp build, there is some deviations around 13 and 16 depending on what people will opt for. We also have the Circle of Life with the Surge of Vitality alongside the Maraud's Insight and the Aegis of Light. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. Now on the other side, I don't think there's really anything out of the ordinary either. We got the Potion of Shielding, the Oil Dispersal, we have the Energy Roll, So unfortunately, couldn't see chat there. Unfortunately, like bug that sometimes happens for me, where I can't actually see what the hell is going on. So we're back in the thick of things. Hopefully, both teams are ready since I can't actually count down. Soromir will actually start trying to turn in. Flyest Raven once again will interrupt him, and the Siege Giants in the bot lane, well, they're going to be put to rest. But they almost have enough on the side of FWC eSports. In the meantime, though, McNulty trying to get on out. Axon doing a very nice job to peel for McNulty, and they'll be fine and dandy. What's interesting is how they've been leaving Kroven in a lot of cases to actually counter-rotate. They have Phoenix with the team, or they have Phoenix in the solo, but they always have someone kind of counter-rotating because they have the additional clear. With Raynor and Junkrat, their wave clear is definitely not the same. The nice throw from McNulty. There's the gravity lapse. And say goodbye to good old Jimmy, because Jimmy's no longer here. And they get the web weavers. This is going to be very big for FWC eSports. They can now push in. They actually have Axon on the top. And in the bot lane, they still have Flyest Raven. So this is a 3v3, and they can get, you know, a lane of soak for free. Bot lane is going to be cleared up, it looks like, and Flyest Raven will join them so they can try and clear this up in mid lane. The mid lane is not as important as the top lane, but the mid lane often is more important towards the mid and late game, especially when you get those night camps coming on in and getting their pressure to the mid lane to clear it up and or push in for a keep. So they get relatively good value, I'd say. FWC takes down front walls, they take down both wells, then they've taken down the front wall in the bot lane. This is pretty much value town. We do have Soromir coming on up, but in the meantime, Shredded Wind is getting torn apart. And we got Soromir from the top rope jumping on in. A beautiful 4-man stun. McNulty managing to get the bloodthirst off and surviving. So they will have to accept a 1-for-0 in the meantime. Dragon has been popped. Flyest Raven managing to hold on. Soromir holding almost all of those gems. So Soromir going to definitely be a heavy focus for FWC eSports. Titans King coming on in hot, getting off some more damage. Now, we're up to 32 and 57 and beautiful gravity laps, but Kroven has nowhere to go except to his own grave. Things got a little too hot there for Kael'thas, and, well, he's going to be snuffed out. 10s are available still, and looks like they're going to try and leverage it. The taunt coming out. They're looking for Titans King. Flyest Raven getting the slows. We won't actually get the root. Flyest Raven needs to be very careful. There, stay a while and listen. They should have the throw ready to go. Beautiful stun from Flyest Raven. The toss on back. Shredded Wind is going to be caught by the Purification Salvo, and he's going to be melted. So FWC eSports take a bad situation, turn it around into a great one, in part thanks to their 10 versus 9 scenario. It's definitely was a great pick. It was, I'm going to have to say, very bad positioning from Kroven there. All alone, 4 men, able to get him and body him. That's not the kind of position you want. Axon, though, not in great position either. Corgi Booty lifting him on up. Soromir is very, very low. Kroven trying to get it. There will be a cleansing flame to ensure Soromir does live, which is going to be a big heroic down. Ardent Defender is still available, though, which is a much longer cooldown than the cleansing flame. However, this is going to buy them a lot of breathing room. Flyest Raven sitting on out, waiting to go and interrupt, and does get it. We got the rotation. Redder coming on down. Flyest Raven trying to get back in there. Has to get on out, and they will manage to actually delay this long enough to get themselves a second turn in. Beautifully done from FWC eSports. Now, it looks like FWC eSports more than learned how to play Tomb of the Spider Queen better from the time of last night to today. I mean, they looked pretty good, but this is looking even better in my opinion. We got McNulty looking for Corgi Booty, does get off the slow, but beautiful knockback by Corgi Booty, looking like they're going to take down a Garage. They've just been debated by the wonderful butt of a Corgi. Shredded Wing coming on in, the beautiful flank, the lift though from Kroven. He is using some simple geometry there, and there's the bunker to help a Red Orc get on out. The Phoenix will try to peel as well, and it doesn't matter because Axon doesn't like Pepper, and he'll be going on down there. So they trade 1 for 1, but in the meantime, the Web Weavers push on in and take down the fort alongside of getting 1 tower in the mid lane. Top, well, that's down now too. Bot, and they're going to take that as well. But there is a rotation. They need to be very careful. Kroven in no man's land, going to be lifted on up. There's the nice zoning route. Kroven coming on in with the gravity lapse, and he should be perfectly fine as Titan's King can no longer aggress forward. But McNulty looking for it, pops the Indomitable, looking for it, throws on in, gets him. McNulty popped on over. Oh my god, beautiful route there. And the Cleansing Flame coming on out. We have the taunt as well. Lightning Breath going to be popped and stopped immediately. The bunker though going to keep him from getting through. Kroven dropping the damage. We got the gravity lapse, but there's the Riptire coming out almost immediately. And Titan's King, Corgi Booty, and Shredded Wing all have to back off. On the other side, FWC eSports, well, McNulty is rather low, but they walk away really winning that engagement. Look at how many heroics are still available on the side of FWC eSports. They have Purification Salvo, Stay a While and Listen. Taunt is going to be up soon. Bunker is super low. And the Phoenix all very, very low. Now, Ardent Defender still available, but they don't have a Riptire. They don't have Cleansing Flame. And those are much too important to try and fight down. Beautiful stun from Flyers Raven, getting the oil dispersal out, and Soromir taking a boatload of damage. Ardent Defender having to be popped here, and now they're looking really good. McNulty coming on in with the flank. We got Axon with the big plasma cutter damage. 1, 2, they're looking for 3. The toss on in by McNulty. Stay a while and get owned because FWC eSports is cleaning up on Isle bot lane. We're going to pop on over and take a look at that bad boy again. No, we're not, because it didn't actually clip. Sorry about that. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it happens. Hopefully it actually did pick up the clip and didn't actually just screw up. But that was very nicely done. Corgi Booty tried the best that he could to actually try and stop him from making that rotation, but it didn't matter. Nice gravity lapse into the convection, and there they go. Taunt, Lightning Breath, Cleansing Flame, and they're just going to pull on back. Axon going to be tossed on out to try and save him from that, and Kroven popping the Mana Addict Shield will be able to walk on out. They take down the Riptire after it explodes in their faces, and so they have still the Night Camp to continue pushing forward with. They have almost all their heroics available versus runboiz, who are missing a lot. Ooh, beautiful timing by Corgi Booty, making sure Flax Raven doesn't get him. Kroven dropping the damage, getting the gravity lapse. We got McNulty in the thick of things. We got the Stay a While and Listen. Even Taki getting caught in that one. The bunker is out there trying to shred through Axon, but Shredded Wing on an island. And, well, Wilson's not there to keep him company. They pick up 1 kill. They pick up 16. And they pick up a major advantage now. FWC eSports tearing it up. We have 8 kills to 3. Let's pop on open talents. We actually have a blood craze here. You don't often see this. Oh my god, double gravity lapse with the Phoenix on top. Corgi having to take on off with the tail, with his tail between his legs, and depending on what kind of Corgi he is, well, it's going to be rather hard to actually get your tail between your legs. So another web weaver phase, not a single one for runboiz. Like I said, these guys are playing Tomb of the Spider Queen exceptionally well right now. We got McNulty pretty far forward, taking a chunk of damage. Needs to play a little bit further back. They don't have a wave here. We got Flyest Raven, who's going to poke on over to get the wall down, and there is a bunch of damage now on Corgi Booty as well. I think we also have Ignite as well, which is not the typical build for Flame Strike. We got the Pyromaniac, and the rest are pretty normal. So he's not going with the typical the typical Flame Strike build. The toss on back onto Titan's King. The stun though from Shredded Wind to try to save the day. There's Stay a While and Listen on top of the Purification Salvo. The Riptire trying to do something critical, but it's not going to be enough as two members are down, and they are going to take the first keep of the game guaranteed. Now, they're not going to probably be able to end the game, but they're looking at getting 1 keep, 2 keeps, and 3 keeps. There might be a red fish and a blue fish somewhere in there as well. So there's a toss on in for Axe and a little throw. There's a beautiful stun. They're looking for Soramir. There's the Ardent Defender, and he's going to be topped on off. And they are actually trying to end this right now. I think this is being a little bit too aggressive, but Soramir does not have anything to use and didn't actually retreat with the team. But Shredded Wing going on in deep. Lightning Breath is not available as well. And they take down Titan's King. Titan King up next. Taki going to be joining the rest of the crew. And Corgi Booty, last man standing. Unfortunately, I don't think 5v1 is going to work for him right now. And FWC eSports running the train on runboiz. I mean, I assume this is what runboiz are running from at this point. They're running from the train because FWC eSports, well, they've given them no warning that this is what's gonna happen. So we're going to take a look at some of the stats there, make sure, of course, not actually behaving as, there we go. I don't understand why it's not working there, but we'll deal the cards that we've been dealt. Now, taking a look at these damage numbers real fast, we got Croven topping things off with 61.4k. Croven's gravity lapses into the flame strikes are so on point. And it's also really interesting that he did opt for the Ignite instead of for the second flame strike. But it seems to work out pretty well for him. We have a Titan's King and Corgi Booty taking the next 2 slots, dishing out a lot of damage overall. Dishing out a lot of damage overall. Sorry, I'm getting harassed about cutting the lobby while I'm trying to go over some of the stats for you guys. Corgi doing an insane amount of sieging, keeping up for his team. Now tanking, Shredded Wind doing a boatload as well, with McNulty coming in pretty close there. And finally, XP Flyest Raven on another planet. I mean, Croven did keep up pretty well, but Flyest Raven soaking it all day long. So, very nice job for